Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Lionel Brandon. I am the Executive Vice President of ABTR, and I'm also a past president of the Pioneers for New York City. I joined the company in 1971. I had various jobs that while I was with the company. And one of those was training new reps. I'd been with the company about 5 years when I was approached by a nice young woman by the name of Barbie Gazis. She was the president of Carl Whitmore chapter, which covered Brooklyn and Queens, which has since been retired. And in its place, all 5 boroughs of New York City was covered by the new chapter, namely Nova 5. Well, little did I know that 20 years later, I would be the president of Nova 5. And that was probably one of my most enjoyable times with the company. When I joined the Pioneers, we still had this full support of the company behind us. Unfortunately, over the years, the amount of support we got from the company diminished slowly until now. Unfortunately, there's very little interaction between the company and the Pioneers. There's no more financial help either. I had a word with Jack Cohen, our chairman, and said, why don't we get in touch with the national headquarters of the Pioneers and see what's going on? We have someone who I think is going to be excellent in their job. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce to you Laura Whitlock. Laura, thank you, everybody.
Great, thank you, Lionel, so much for that nice introduction. My name is Laura Whitlock, as you know, and I am the Interim Executive Director for the Pioneers Volunteer Organization, coming to you from Greenwood Village, Colorado right now. It's a beautiful fall day, and I am truly honored to speak with you today. I know many of you are also pioneers, and for that, I want to extend to you a warm hello and thank you so much for continuing to answer the call of those in need. Thank you. For those of you who aren't pioneers, but should be, I want to take a moment to tell you about our organization. We are celebrating our 110th year anniversary this year, coming up on November 2nd. So we are a very old organization. We were founded in Boston, Colorado, and we were founded by a few people that were part of the Bell System telephone pioneers, Henry Pope, Charles Truex, and Thomas Doolittle. And they put together a group of retirees that they wanted to keep in touch with and get together. And, it started out kind of as a fraternal organization, and it turned into becoming more of a fraternal and then a service organization. They had a meeting in 1911 in Boston where 244 founding members came, and Alexander Graham Bell was in attendance. And not only was he in attendance, but he insisted on being the very first pioneer member. And we have here in our offices the book where he signed his name as the first pioneer. So we feel very honored and privileged to have such a great, rich history with Alexander Graham Bell and the Bell System. Back then, dues were fixed at $5 a year and $2 for every year thereafter. And you had to have 21 years of service in the industry in order to become a pioneer. And it became a rite of passage. Once you retired, the first thing you do on your first day of retirement is join the pioneers. And even today, I hear so many people telling that story, that they joined the pioneers the day they retired from the company. Today, though, we we don't feel like we can require 21 years of service to join the organization. So we've opened up our membership to any people who are working for a telephone company or retired from the telephone company. And we've also opened it up to friends and family. So we're trying to support our ranks by expanding our requirements for membership. So who are our members? We have 440,000 members in the US and Canada, and our pioneers volunteer millions of hours in our communities. Last year was a tough year for us, as it was for everyone, in that our volunteers could not actually go out and work in our communities. So we didn't record as many hours as we probably would have liked to, but in the year prior to that, we recorded 4 million hours of volunteer activity, which is making a difference in the communities. And I'm so proud of that. Some of our projects you maybe have heard about, we do beeping baseballs and Easter eggs for the visually impaired. And that was something that a pioneer created in 1946. And he made a softball that was made out of old telephone parts. And as you turn it on, and as it approached the batter, it would start sounding louder and louder to the batter, and he would hit it and run, even though he couldn't see it necessarily. I tried doing that once and was a complete failure. I cannot run blindfolded. It's really embarrassing. Anyway, some of our other projects are we make Hug-A-Bears for emergency responders to hand out to children who are in situations where they need comfort. We do a lot of work with veterans. We do a lot of work in the education field for children who are impoverished and need to have their school supplies bought for them or their lunch programs subsidized. So we do that kind of volunteer work throughout the community. And you might see us out there cleaning up beaches or parks or building ramps and helping repair camps that have for special needs children. Anyway, we do a lot of that. And I'm very proud of the work we do. And for those of you who are out there doing this sort of work, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I'm delighted to know your chairman, Jack Cohen, and I consider him a friend and a partner. And we've been talking together about similar concerns we both have. And what I've learned about your organization is that you are a passionate and driven organization, and you're standing up for the rights of telephone company retirees. And that's so important. And again, I want to thank you for that important work that you do. Our membership is made up of employees and retirees of different telephone organizations, such as AT&T, New Vision, Verizon, CenturyLink. These companies were strategic partners of ours initially, and that's how we had access to recruit new members. So when someone retired from AT&T or Verizon, we could reach out to them through their company. Today, the only company that is willing to work with us like that is AT&T. So they actually help us by collecting dues and giving us access to their employees. But it's a little more difficult for us to reach those pioneers that, or those potential pioneers that were part of Legacy West, which is the CenturyLink, or part of General Electric. And then we also have members that are up in Canada, and they're part of the SaskTel Bell Company. So it's more challenging for us to reach out to these people. And I know some of the challenges that we face are similar challenges for your organization. In the past, people stayed at companies for their entire career. And when they retired, they were proud of the legacy that they had built in the time that they spent with their employers. But today, people are changing jobs. Companies are merging and morphing into different organizations. And the loyalty we once felt for our employers is becoming a thing of the past. our organization was initially started as a fraternal organization to keep retirees engaged. And today we are a service organization. And our biggest challenge is to attract new members. 1/3 of our membership is between the ages of 65 and 74, and another third is over the age of 75. So for an organization that's heavily focused on the retiree population, that sounds about right. But without the company loyalty of today's employees, we lose our access to potential members. So what was once an organization with strategic partnerships with Verizon and CenturyLink, we now rely on membership recruitment on a one-on-one basis. And so, as you can imagine, our numbers are dwindling and our members are aging to the point where they're not really interested in volunteer work. So when I was talking to Jack, he asked me what his organization could do to help ours. And simply put, the answer is what you can do to help our organization is the same thing we can do to help your organization. And that is to recruit members on both sides. So, for example, if any of you out there are not pioneers, but you join the pioneers, then you would have access to a wide network of people who you could recruit to join the BellTel Retiree organization. So I feel like if our numbers could join, we could really strengthen our ranks for both organizations. In closing, again, I just want to thank you for all your dedication and hard work. What you do is very important. It's very important work. And I want to thank you. I'm proud to be a pioneer. And like you, we are all passionate about making a difference. Don't underestimate the impact we have within our memberships and in our communities. As you celebrate 25 years, I want to congratulate you on proving that when passionate people join together to do what's right, the results are monumental. Thank you again for having me, and I look forward to getting to know more of you.